So what kind of things do you do to establish and maintain a culturally responsive environment in your school so that students feel safe socially, academically, emotionally, and excel in all those areas?
I think that's an important question. And I think that it's tough for any educator or non-educator to really grasp this concept and understand the importance of what a culturally responsive environment is, and how it's important to the students that we serve. So I think that it's particularly more difficult for people to understand if they don't have or they don't possess the empathy or the experience of a person who has to almost dilute their culture daily to fit, right? Or to mesh with the culture of the environment that they work or that they go to school. So what I'm saying there is sometimes we have students who, their family culture, as I said before, their family culture and school culture don't mesh, they don't mix. So what's happening is the moment that they step on the school bus in the morning, everything changes. The rules change for them because the culture is different. The language is different. Consequences are different. The way that the adults speak to the children, that's different in their culture. So what's happening is those students are having to learn two different cultures, right? Other students don't, right? There are some students where the school culture and family culture are pretty much aligned, right? So those students have an advantage because they don't have to shift, right? We call this code switching. But if you think about it, our kids start learning to code switch in daycare or pre-K. So they're 5 years old, and they're having to learn this different culture and having to change the way that they think and do things and respond to different things. And quite frankly, that can become exhausting, right? And confusing for some of our kids. So I think that it's important for educators to realize that, right? And realize that their culture might not match the student's culture. And we need to learn more about the student's culture, about this culture that is so different than what it was from when we were young. The music, the dance, the clothing, all of this is a part of their culture, and we need to understand how this impacts these students and what mindset they're coming into our building, into our classroom with. So no, I don't believe that we as educators possess the ability to learn every single culture, right? And learn everything that's going on outside of the school. However, we do need to understand that the students come with different cultures, right? And that we need to take the time to listen, and that we need to adjust the way that we approach teaching, the way that we approach learning. And then if we can do that, I think that we'll reach a different population of students.
That's fabulous. That's fabulous. And I think it's very powerful, some very powerful statements you made as you were talking. And I like the way that you talk about how we need to adjust as educators to match, I'm going to say, the dominant cultures, or to make an arena where all the cultures that come into the classroom are important and celebrated. So do you have any examples of how you do that from your seat, or encourage teachers to do?
Definitely. So for example, I was teaching a 5th grade class, and I was getting this student, and I didn't know much about this student. I've heard a lot about this student, but I didn't know much about him firsthand. So the first thing I did was I asked the kid, hey, what type of music do you listen to, right? Send me some titles of some songs, right? No intention on, really listening to the music that he was listening to and adding it to my personal playlist, but I just wanted to see what he was taking in, right? And what he liked and what he valued. And I'm just using music as an example, but that type of conversation is what I recommend when we're meeting our students, I think we should have a conversation with them about what they like outside of school. Tap into their interests, tap into the things that move them, the things that they value, and see if we can help blend that into the classroom and help bring some of those things into the classroom so we make the learning more meaningful for them. Sometimes we may not, right? Sometimes they may be into some things that are controversial and we can't bring them into our lessons. But it is important that we know that that student is listening to that. That student is putting that stuff inside, of his brain or her brain, and we understand the way that they operate. So when we talk about culturally responsive, most people go straight to the different cultures or the different, the different languages that the students speak, or the different nationalities of the students. That stuff is important too, and it's important to highlight and to value those things as well. But when you're talking about this different age, this different generation of students, a lot of these students are just into some different things, and we need to understand that. We need to know that, and we need to bring that stuff into our school and capitalize on that.